Backpacking in Faith, a pilgrimage within the Christian community. I'm Katrina.
I'm Liz, and this is our journey.
Oh yes, we're starting. Hello.
So we're back
From outer space. Every time someone says we're back, it's in my head.
You
That
want to
song.
sing From Outer Space?
Yeah, I don't know the rest of the song.
Something about walking in with that sad look upon your face.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
Gloria Gaynor, isn't it?
If you say so. Honestly, it's just that one bit. It drives Matt crazy. Stop doing that.
All right, so we're back to talk about walk through faith, in faith, walk in faith.
Because there's no end, so we can't walk through it. It's like a tunnel.
That's true. So today we're going to be talking about other input we have. As we've said previously, we don't attend a mainstream church regularly. We are a part of a home church, and
It's not even a network, it's just one home church.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, and there's just a small amount of us. And at the moment, I'm not meeting with the guys.
At the moment, it's not going on. It hasn't been going on for a month.
No, because other people are away and stuff. So we're looking for input elsewhere. We have been doing this for quite a while, though, haven't we? I mean,
Yeah.
we started listening to podcasts, a couple of years ago?
I don't remember, maybe.
I know I only started listening to them about 2 years ago. Somebody pointed me in the direction of Nomad podcasts. It was, I'm going to turn my phone on silent. It was Amy. She pointed me in the direction of Nomad because I think she knows one of the chaps. So that's how she came across it, isn't it? But I've been listening to them regularly since they started. Well, not since they started, since I started listening to podcasts.
Not me.
No, you're not.
I did find them very difficult because when I first started listening, they were mumbly. I'm sorry, they just were.
I didn't find them mumbly. I think it's an accent thing. I think I don't enjoy listening to. Well, I do. I love some American podcasts, but I find it much easier on the ears and much easier to listen to English podcasts than American. And I think you're the opposite, aren't you?
No, they're fine now. But when I started listening to them, they mumbled a lot. Like they would go off and go.
Yeah.
It's almost like they got further away from the microphone.
Oh, I never found that, but maybe we just listened to different ones. Maybe they had a couple of mumbly ones.
Maybe. But it put me off. I like their setup, though.
Yeah, I like their format. I like the fact that they interview people, and the people they are interviewing are such a wide range of people, from pagan, I don't know what they're called, pagan practitioners?
Practitioners?
Yeah, the paganists.
Paganists?
To bishops and authors and musicians,
professors.
Yeah, I like their variation of people they interview, and while I don't agree with a lot of the things, not a lot, I don't agree with an amount of things the people I interview are talking about or saying. I like to hear another perspective, and I do learn quite a lot from it. I take quite a lot of what they say on and ponder over it and work through it. Like the most recent one that I really enjoyed was what was the guy's name? Greg Boyd, from the guy who wrote the book on
the crucifixion of the warrior God.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So I actually purchased the books, and I haven't got very far. Right, when I first got the books, I read a bit, and I was like, wow, this is really heavy going, and I have to Google about 6 words per page. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to get back to it. When you read a book and you go, gosh, that's crap, I'm not going back to it. But it's not the case with this. This is the case of, oh my gosh, this is heavy going and I'm not in the right frame of mind right now, but I'm definitely going to continue on with it, because that's something I've always wanted to kind of address, the God of the Old Testament that's very smitey.
Yeah, the God of the Old Testament is like bipolar.
Yeah.
I love you. Let me kill you.
I
love you. It's all happy days. Kill. I hate you.
I think it was the fact that he quite often wipes out whole nations. I wanted to reconcile that with Jesus, so it's on my list of things to do. Who do you listen to mostly?
I listen to a lot of Reality San Francisco podcast. It's more their sermons.
Because they're a church, aren't they?
They are a church, and they're quite a big church. They've got different places around the States. But I like their mission is that it's not about the church buildings. That's just a place to meet in a bigger group. But they like to be out in the community. So I like that bit. They're easy to listen to. Well, there was one that was not so easy to listen to, but that's out of like 50 that I have listened to.
Are you talking about the sound of them or the content?
No, the
of what-
content.
Okay.
Yeah. Another. Some of them are not very good sound quality because their sound died or something. They had to use an iPhone
Yeah,
to record.
when you recommended them quite a while ago, I listened to a couple and the sound quality wasn't good on them. And again, it doesn't sit very comfortably. I can watch an American talk perfectly as happy as I can watch a person with an English accent talk, but listening to it obviously I can't see the face and the expressions. I find it a little bit difficult to listen to.
Well, they have YouTube videos as well. Most of their sermons, they record video as well as audio.
Do you know what I
So-
like about podcasts?
Is that you can listen to it on the go.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually pay much attention.
Yeah, whereas YouTube, you've got to have that app open and running.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can't, it doesn't, if you go to, the phone goes into sleep mode and the screen turns off,
Yeah,
the YouTube app stops working.
Yeah.
I hate that.
me too.
Really ridiculous.
What type of church is San Francisco? Do you know?
I have no idea, no.
Maybe non-denominational. I tell you who I used to listen to. I used to listen to Joseph Prince.
I have a hard time with him.
Yeah, well, because of his accent or because of his message.
His messages.
I
Is it
saw Joseph Prince at the Hillsong Conference a couple of years ago, and he was fantastic. And I think the message that he shares is fantastic. I think I know why you struggle with it, because I struggle with the message that it's the way he. Oh, how best to describe it? It kind of comes across as love Jesus, trust in Jesus, and you will get your rewards. And it does feel more than just the reward of being in God's grace.
It's the P, doesn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just had it and I was going to say something to you about it, but
Oh, sorry.
it's my brain.
It's the heat. We're having a bit of a heat wave here at the moment, aren't we? So we're a little bit flat, maybe. Do you feel a bit flat?
I do feel a bit
I
flat.
do as well.
I didn't sleep very well. I didn't get to sleep till quite late because of the heat.
Yeah.
The upstairs holds the heat remarkably well because the UK doesn't do air conditioning
Nope.
or ceiling fans.
Some older houses have ceiling fans. There was a bit
It's
of a
not
bit of a fad.
given. You don't, coming from Florida, you would have a ceiling fan even with.
yeah, only really older
Air
houses you
conditioning.
find over here. It was kind of a thing in the 80s. Prosperity.
Yes.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
knew it started with a P.
He does preach a bit of grace and prosperity hand in hand.
See, I don't believe in the prosperity teaching.
No,
I don't think God works like that.
no, it's not I'll behave and do everything you want, and then I'll put my hand out and you'll reward me.
I need some pocket money, God.
I do like his message, but it does come across a little bit. I wonder if he means to do it that way.
I don't know. I mean, he's prospering.
Do you know, I looked him up because we've had a conversation about pastors and their lifestyles and incomes previously. It's on several occasions where we go, it's difficult to sort of say, oh yeah, no, this guy's really fantastic, the message he shares. Oh, hang on, here he comes, he's in his private helicopter, and you go, that's a little bit, it's a little bit much.
That's a little OTT.
Yeah, I think maybe because, we think of people like Brother Young who give everything away, and then you have other pastors that have a very affluent lifestyle. I'm not judging. It's not always very comfortable. But I did look up Joseph Prince, and he gives an absolute. He doesn't take a wage for what he does. I can't remember now. I'm going to be making it up, but I think it was something along the lines of he gives a massive proportion of his salary back to the church.
He's got a massive church somewhere, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Where is his church at?
I'm not sure. Singapore.
The New Creation Church in Singapore.
And I think people like Hillsong, I love their music, and Brian and Bobby, they seem like
Yeah, they
really
seem
great
really nice.
guys and a nice
people.
family.
When I started listening to them, when he speaks, Brian Houston speaks, all I can think about is Bruce the shark from Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I do like his voice. It's very like, oh yeah.
I They speak about the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, it does get a little samey.
It is very samey. It's, love God, love Jesus.
Which is
Go
important.
through trials.
Important.
Love God, love Jesus. Go through trials. Love God, love Jesus. It's basically that over and over again.
Well, they're part of the
I got bored with them.
AOG, aren't they?
AOG?
Assemblies of God. And I found at Hillsong...
Did we not call them AOG? Because that kind of sounds like a big spider.
Oh, you don't like AOG?
No, it reminds me of Harry Potter, Hagrid's spider.
Okay. The Assemblies of God, they're part of that network, as are the church that we've been to in Gloucester a couple times.
And Audacious Church, isn't it?
Yeah, and also the church we went to see Brother Yun.
Connect Church in Birmingham.
That's it, yeah.
One church in Gloucester is part of it.
I don't know, I didn't find it with the guys in Birmingham, but they knew from the off that we were just visiting because we had a long drive to get there. But I felt like in other Assemblies of God's churches, they're quite driven to take a collection and get your name signed up for membership.
Well, they did give us cards.
They did. But maybe I'm just a bit sensitive to it. But it just bothers me a little bit because...
That's not just those churches. I've been in churches with those cards as well. Sign up. Give us your details. We expect you next Sunday. In the States.
Right.
They've done that before.
As far as I understand it, the more membership you have, the more funding you get from the governing body of that particular denomination. So if you've got more members, you get more money from the guys that run it to spend on the community.
See, that sort of thing bugs me.
It bugs me too. I mean, I understand the purpose behind it, because there has to be some sort of...
Give more money to the affluent and less to the poor, when it should be the other way around. Obviously, they don't need all that money, because they're doing fine. Split it out a bit more even.
I think you'd have done well in Cuba, you know.
Castro.
Yeah, so we got a bit off track there, but we basically listened to several podcasts. Are there any other podcasts you wanted to sort of talk about?
I listened to Audacious Church, and then we did find, well, I found a couple that are not really sermon.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of chatty women. One's called Hello Mornings.
Yeah.
And we're part of that Facebook group.
Yeah. Oh, they've got a podcast?
Yeah, they've got a podcast. And there's another, The Happy Hour.
No,
But they're American and they're pretty upbeat. So if you don't really like that...
Are you sure they're not Canadian?
They're American.
Can you tell the difference between Canadian and American?
Well, they say they're American, so...
Can you?
Usually. Especially when they say out.
Oot.
Oot. And a boot.
What was that podcast you were listening to there was one that was a non-practicing Jewish woman, was it?
It wasn't a Jewish woman. It was a evangelistic and a Mormon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's right. I remember you saying that. Correct.
Correct.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we're borderline on the... We're not our normal sort of selves today. We're like, if you say something dumb, I'm probably going to be snappy with you.
I hate the way you're so snappy with me.
I tried to find quite a few podcasts, Christian podcasts to listen to.
You know, it's so difficult.
It is. You've got to get through some...
Because there's some crap out there. The Smartest Person in the Room. That's the podcast.
Is that an ironic name for it, or is that legitimately how she feels about herself?
No. She doesn't think she's the smartest.
Okay.
The person that they're interviewing is the smartest person in the room.
Okay.
About that particular subject.
Oh, so they interview people too?
Yeah. This person just interviews other people. So she always thought like she was the smartest person in the room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as she got older, she realized that being the smartest person in the room isn't as rewarding as learning from the smartest person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So then she became this interview, and that's how the podcast came about.
Okay.
And she does this interview with two women, and it's called Episode 10 Religion Series, Mormon versus Mainstream Christianity.
Right.
And it pissed me off because they're saying that Mormon and mainstream Christianity are basically the same. There's only tiny little differences, and we should respect each other. Well, fine, we respect each other. I respect that you're crazy and in a cult.
Yeah.
Fine, you want to do that, you're a grown-ass person. You do that.
Respect you as a human being, but I don't agree with your belief system.
I do not agree with secret rituals.
No.
And secret underwear.
No.
And binding each other after death.
And basically recreating a whole creation story to suit themselves.
I do not agree with any of that. I don't agree with Christian, mainstream Christian, putting down other people for how they want to live their lives. Everyone sins. I don't agree with the way that they handle anything. There's a big Reddit thread as well about Mormons and what it really is from people who are Mormons and decided or are in the middle of deciding to leave or have left. And
Okay,
been
I
in
bet
there
that's
for years.
interesting.
Well, if someone's interested, there are places you can go. We saw that was New Name Noah, was it on YouTube?
Yeah, and something about Noah. No name Noah.
New name.
That was quite. He was quite interesting actually. He went and filmed a lot of the goings on inside
It's not
the
just
temple.
him. He gets it from other people as well.
Oh,
what
really?
I understand. Yeah, people send him videos from places
Because
other
we've seen
than
his face, so I guess he's
probably well known.
he's probably banned from all temples. They have a sign. Do not admit these people. Like in a convenience store.
Like a convenience
Nice.
store, a little Polaroid picture.
Hang on, let me just look at your face. No, sorry, you can't come in.
We know who you are. You're not allowed in.
So we've got the podcasts that we listen to.
I have found that some podcasts say they're Christian or spout some Christian beliefs, but they're actually spiritualist. Have you found that?
No, not
While
really.
sifting
No.
through. So there's like two categories really. There's the main sermons, and you could get a load of crazy people on those.
Yeah.
So you can find sermons on there.
Westbrook
but
Baptist Church, maybe.
they could be a little bit on the crazy side,
Mm-hmm.
as in, TV evangelist crazy.
Right.
Oh,
I think I've heard a few of those.
They're like, rah!
Yeah.
Gay people. Rah!
Yeah, I had to stop listening to. That's why I stopped sifting through the Christian podcasts, because I was just coming across so many sort of
Hate.
Bible thumpers,
Yeah. Yeah. But then on the other side, you get the ones that are namby-pamby and are bordering on the spirituality rather than focusing on Jesus. They just go, oh, well, you can fix stuff yourself and pray to Jesus and God for help, but you can do it yourself.
Yeah. You found a few of those?
And just, be one with the universe.
Yeah.
No, just don't.
I haven't come across many of those, but then literally as soon as I saw that a large percentage of the Christian podcasts were Bible thumpers, I thought, no, I'll wait till Katrina recommends something. Or actually, what I do is, like with Nomad, is they will recommend. They'll interview another podcaster.
They did just do that.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And I've only listened to one of his podcasts so far.
I haven't listened to any of it.
It's really interesting, and they get authors on, so they recommend books as well. So we've read a couple of books that have been recommended on there. I think, like for me, if I find one or two staple sort of podcasts, I can get recommendations from them rather than sift through.
Sifting is a pain.
Yeah, and I get bored quite easily. I can't find anything. I'll just listen to a CD, iTunes or something.
You use iTunes because you have an iPhone.
I do, yeah. I'll be honest, I'm such a noob as far as podcasts concerned. I thought that's where they all came from.
No, not everything is Apple. I use Podcast Addict. Most of the Android podcasts all kind of work the same.
Do you get the same podcasts that
Yeah.
are on iTunes that are on on the Android ones?
Exactly the same.
But they're put on the internet, aren't they? And then there are certain feeds that direct it to anywhere that's plays podcasts. I don't really understand how the wizards and goblins side of it works. It's all a bit, I don't know. We've got to figure this all out once we're done.
You have to figure it out because
All right.
I'm doing the editing.
All right, fair enough. I'll Google it. Only Google has the answer.
I'm doing the editing. You can do that bit.
Thank you, appreciate that.
No problem.
Do you look elsewhere for any sort of sources? I mean, other than music, that would be the only other place. I listen to music and I listen to podcasts and I read books that are recommended from the podcasts I listen to, but I don't really. When I get asked a question or I see a question or I'm interested in something, I'll Google it and just come across a couple of websites, but I don't sort of regularly go back to any specific websites to look over?
There is a YouTube. There's a YouTuber who was also on Instagram, and
You're so tech savvy.
I like
I've
her. I've
literally
only
just
found
got
her
Instagram.
recently. So behind. I've only just found her recently, and her name is Kim Cash Tate. That's her
Why
YouTube
does
name.
ring a bell?
Because I sent you a video of her.
Oh, that'd be why.
So she does study with me, and she is an author of Christian fiction books.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the woman you were talking about. Yeah, she was really good actually. She was
Yeah, I quite like watching her
interesting.
videos.
Mm.
Of course, I follow her on Instagram, but she basically puts the same thing on Instagram as she does YouTube.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do. And then I just go by my recommends. What's YouTube gonna recommend for me? Bunch of crap. That's what I go by. And then I've realized that a lot more people that I follow would say they're Christian than I thought. Because I wouldn't have thought they were Christian, but that's what they say they are.
A lot of people who know me have been surprised when I've said, well, I'm a Christian. And it's because I swear.
It's because you're horrible. You're a horrible woman.
You are not in a good mood. The heat does not make you a nice person. I swear and I make rude jokes.
So do I.
So
I'm just teasing. I'm not a horrible person.
I know I'm not.
You know.
I know. I'm actually quite fantastic.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh. Have a drink. Is that vodka in there?
Maybe.
Vodka and lime?
No, that's that pineapple mint.
Oh, how's that working out?
It's nice, actually. Because, mint's really strong.
Gross.
And I really don't like mint. But this is more subdued pineapple.
Huh.
I'm going to go back and get the strawberry one.
How weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. That's GM.
They also have cucamelon.
That's GM, isn't it?
Genetically modified. Of course it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure mint
I don't
doesn't
eat
grow.
anything genetically modified,
Well, you're missing out.
I make
I'm not
sure
eating it. I'm drinking.
make sure everything I eat has got no sort of MSG in it. Which is absolute rubbish, obviously, because I'll just eat anything that gets put in front of me that I haven't got to cook.
Oh, that would be nice. No cooking.
Do you feel like, because I feel the amount of podcasts and reading I do is way more than anybody I know that just goes to church on a Sunday. Most people that I know that just go to church on a Sunday go on a Sunday, and then the rest of their week it's just sort of standard, sort of regular atheistic living, with chant music and trashy novels, which all have their place in my life. I'll be honest with you.
I like trashy novels.
But I feel like going to church just on a Sunday or any day of the week.
I don't know many churchgoers. How many churchgoers do you know?
Only a handful, but most of them seem to sort of go one day a week and then spend the rest of their week. And I'm not saying that God isn't in the rest of their lives. I don't know what's going on in their lives. I know that they pray and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like being responsible for my own input, and praying and asking God to guide and just leaving myself open to lots of different sources. I feel like I get more spiritual feeding from that than I would just meeting with a church one day a week, because going one day a week I don't have to do anything, because I can go one day a week and let somebody else be responsible for my input. Do you feel like you get more as doing it this way than you would if you were going to church?
I think I would still be the way I am. And
would you? You still think you would?
Well, it's because I question. If someone was preaching to me and I didn't agree with it, I would have to go and research it myself and back up my claims so I could tell them they're wrong.
See,
because I'm all about telling people they're wrong.
I know
That's
you
how
are.
I am.
I know. I have experienced this. I don't know.
You're wrong, and this is why.
I just feel like the sermons and the services are so thin on the ground as far as content.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So you go along, and there's not really any content to go away, other than maybe one or two phrases that they've said that maybe didn't sit well with you or did sit well with you. Like, I remember one time I went to church, and the guy who was preaching said his basic message was, if God isn't blessing your life, you must be doing something wrong. You should pray and think about what God wants you to do, and then when you're doing it, maybe God will reward you. And I walked away and I was like, what in God's name are you preaching? That is so wrong. And I haven't really wanted to go back to that church again, even though I love their music. They do a lot of Hillsong music, and they're a nice bunch of people. But I just felt what they said was just so wrong. But that's all I take from church services is the occasional sort of message, but no great detail. And I found that I would take that and I'd go, okay, that's church done.
Yeah, that's what I felt about the Hillsong sermons.
That's a Sunday dinner,
Yeah, that's what I felt about the Hillsong sermons, that they're quite surface level. But that's why I like the Reality San Francisco podcast, because they'll spend time, they'll do sermons just on a couple of sentences in a book, and then build around and they'll work through each book like that.
Yeah.
Rather than taking a theme of, I don't know. Well, they do that too. They take a theme like marriage and then they work around that theme.
Yeah.
But I prefer it when they work around the biblical verse.
So if you went to a church like San Francisco, I'm assuming it's in San Francisco.
They have several other places.
Do they call them San Francisco in other cities?
They call them Reality. The Reality Church.
Okay. So if you went to that church service and you got that sort of message, that's a good sort of thinking, feeding, something to pray on, something to look at when you get home. I still don't think that I would be as looking for as many resources as I do if I had that one place to go back to. Did that make sense?
Yeah. That might just be a personality thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because it's taken a long time to get to this point.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm only at the point I'm at now because I've walked away from that one particular source that I was always relying on. Not because I don't love her to bits, I think she's fantastic, but because I was relying on her for my
spiritual feeding.
Yeah, and I felt like it was kind of like Hillsong, it was all a little bit too generic and a little bit too surface, and I felt like, okay, well, I can just walk away and that's that done for the week, and that's not the way I want to live my life.
Yeah.
I don't think you can focus on Jesus if you spend the whole week being immersed in myself.
No. I have found that since doing this, that if I get stressed and I'll just put something on, it'll be just something random, I'll think, well, that's not going to really help me, is it? I need to get some sort of better mood. So I'll put some worship music on, and then I feel better.
Yeah.
And then I think I wouldn't have done that before. I would have just kind of been in the mood and been horrible.
You want to listen to some of that music now?
No. No, fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about though, because like when I listen to Hillsong music, it really, even though I'm not praying or I'm not doing anything, I'm singing along, and the words, I think singing those words, like to me, for me specifically, it brings me back to the place.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not specifically focused on that, I might be just driving along, which is obviously my main focus.
It's not. Don't
Did you
believe
see
it.
that thing I shared on Facebook? And it said, I've set my sights on Jesus, and I can't remember. It said something like, I've set my sights on Jesus, and that will get me there. And the caption underneath, and it was on the bumper sticker of the car. And the guy was like, well, I'm great, you've got your sights on Jesus, but I prefer you had your sight on the road or something like that. I don't quite know why I was going there.
During the day, as everything starts, and this could start quite early, 'cause in the UK, everyone's still in school pretty much, until you're in secondary school anyhow. The primary school kids are still in school.
Yeah, this is a long term. It's longer than the normal. It's supposed to be every 6 weeks, our terms. This is a longer one.
It's 8 weeks. Yeah, so anyhow, mornings are really challenging
Yeah.
in my house. I've got 3 kids, and while the youngest doesn't go to school, he still has to get ready so we can walk there, and they're not old enough to walk by themselves yet. The slowness, and they don't want to get up. They don't want to go to bed at night because it's still light.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get up in the morning because they're tired from not going to bed at night. And then they're hot.
It's a
because
cycle.
hot. And then they're just moving slow. And they're all like, do we have to go to school? Yes, you have to go to school. Get moving. And then every 2 minutes, I have to remind them to keep moving. You need to get dressed. You need to get your lunch together.
Take another bite. Put some food in your mouth.
You haven't even eaten yet. What is going on?
Stop messing about the table and eat your breakfast.
My eldest just sits there and he'll stare off into space while he's eating. What are you doing?
Focus. Get eaten.
Food into the mouth. Move. If you're done, get up and go do something different. Oh, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So it's easy to not get unbalanced is not the right word, but I almost feel like if Jesus is our center,
Yeah.
it's easy to get rippled out.
Mm.
Yeah, like a rock gets thrown in. My kids don't want to get ready for school. That's a rock. We wake up late. That's another rock. And it just ripples and ripples and ripples. And I start to feel torn apart, basically. And listening to a podcast or listening to some music, just kind of trying to find a space in that moment, kind of brings everything back together towards the center. It doesn't bring it all the way back because that's a lot of rocks that are being thrown in to my center pool there. And it's hard to come back together.
Yeah.
So I think that's what going to church is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring you back all the way to the center. But I don't know how the people who only go once a week or once a fortnight
Last the whole 7
last
days.
the whole time
Yeah.
and aren't completely torn apart and disintegrated by the ripples of their life.
Maybe I'm being too harsh on regular churchgoers. Maybe it's just a few, because I only know a handful. Maybe the majority of churchgoers do get their shit together during the week and manage to keep focused. Because there's more to being a Christian than just saying, I'm a Christian and I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I believe he died on the cross for my sins, and I repent and I want to do better. There's more to being a Christian than that, because at the end of the day, when it's judgment time, we're going to be held accountable for our actions. And I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm sorry, I tried. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. I don't want to be, oh, I didn't bother trying. You know?
It was too hard. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't try.
Well, my kids would be in a pain. Yeah, everybody's kids would be in a pain. They make your life difficult. And then they leave home, and then you miss them. I don't know.
Over time, if we think about it as a ripple effect, and they come to church and they get kind of smushed back together as much as they can.
Yeah.
Over time, that smushiness is still going to be further and further away from the center. Maybe that's why people leave the church.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we could ask if anybody listens to our podcast, if they could maybe... Is there a comment section? Maybe.
There will be if we put up...
Yeah.
When we put up onto iTunes, because it has to go on iTunes, because...
Apple is such a fantastic product. I'm not being paid to say that, honestly. But maybe we could ask any listeners to write in the comments or write on our page about what they do during the week between churches. You know, because this is all about a walking in faith. We want to learn as much as we're, sharing. We're not sitting here thinking we're teaching anybody anything. We're just sharing what's going on in our lives, and we'd like to hear about what you guys do. I can think of one person who goes to church regularly, but he goes to different churches, and I know that he is massively spiritual. There's no way he listens to Christian music, podcasts, reads massive amount of books, does volunteer work, travels the world visiting other Christians and expanding his mind. So I'm not saying all the Christians I know and all Christians, all they do is they go a Sunday and they forget everything, and then they go the next Sunday. And that's not what I'm saying, because I'm sure it's not. I only know a small handful of Christians. So, yeah, maybe they could share with us how they get spiritually fed during the week.
I'm always looking for new resources.
Yeah, definitely.
New podcasts that people are listening to. I like.
So I think on a later date, we're going to discuss some of the websites we use as well, because we do find some resources through a couple of different websites. And I think we're going to discuss music at another date as well. Maybe... play some. Can we play some of our favourite songs? Maybe just name some of our favourite songs.
I would think.
Copyright.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Christian. Hey, that's not very Christian of you.
Yeah, right. We've spent.
I'm kidding, Hillsong. I'm kidding.
Oh,
we love you.
Actually, I do love Brian and Bobby. When Amy had her baby really premature, I contacted them on Twitter and said, could you guys pray for her? And they had the whole congregation praying for the baby, and she was a massive miracle. She was born at 25 weeks, was she? 26?
I don't
26?
know.
Really
late 20s.
Super, super early, and she's fantastic now. She's got no learning difficulties. They are fantastic people. So yeah, we spent a few weeks recording all these, haven't we? So and Katrina's lovingly and arduously spent many hours editing. So we're going to be releasing these soon
I didn't edit anything last week
for your enjoyment.
because I was busy doing something else.
That's my fault. She was making my son's birthday cake, which was awesome, by the way.
Bing bang boom, we be done.
We're going to shoot off, and then we probably won't release one for. Did we say we're going to do it fortnightly?
Fortnightly, yeah.
Yeah, because like we've got children and schedules and stuff.
Thinking is hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is. We're heading for the summer now, so brain cells are dying rapidly.
It would be nice to go to the toilet in peace. That's not going to happen until they move out.
At least you've got 2 toilets. There is no peace in ours from anybody.
I don't care. We could have a gazillion toilets.
And they'd want to be in the
They'd
one
want to be
you're
in the one I'm in.
No.
There's some things that you just don't want to know what other people are doing.
No.
Like
I've been in the bath and my husband will come in and go, "Can I use the toilet?" No. I mean, we've been together for, I don't know, 13, 14 years. It's never going to be a yes.
But if it was just peeing.
No. I want to smell your piss while I'm in the bath. You don't drink enough water. I don't want to smell sugar puffs.
Oh, no.
That's nasty.
Oh, no.
I don't care if I have to get out the bath for them to use it. I'm not sitting in the bath. Not that I have a bath, because who wants to sit in their own filth? I have a shower. But even still, I don't want to smell it.
No.
Of course, if I need a wee and Matt's in the bath, I'm going to do it.
You're such a hypocrite.
I've got double standards. I accept that. But he doesn't care, and I do. So this conversation took quite a disgusting turn. Here's a snippet into our lives. Our children drive us crazy. The bathroom is not off limits. You've got a lot of editing to do this week, haven't you?
I do. But this. So.
New sound effects.
Yeah.
You shouldn't jump so much because it makes your boob make it sound funny.
I couldn't jump right now. I've got really pee bad.
Hey, when I run, it sounds like I'm clapping myself.
Oh my god! Stop! Stop! I do have to pee.
So that's us for today.
That's it.
And we'll
Catch you on the flip flop. See you
we're
later,
still trying that one
alligator.
out.
I have no clue how to end these things.
Alright.
Bye.
Yeah. Alright, bye guys. We'll go now.
We'll go now.
Alright.
We'll catch you later.
Yep.
Have a blessed week. I still can't do that. It sounds ridiculous.
That does sound nice. Do it again.
Have a blessed week.
No, that doesn't sound like us. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Alright, bye.